Michigan also has a Democratic primary, which is getting some unexpected attention in this year's race for the White House. Michigan Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib is urging Democrats to vote against President Biden in the contest, which is a week away.
And moving on, U.S. Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib was awarded the title of the 2023 Anti-Semite of the Year. The award is given out annually by Stop Anti-Semitism, a nonpartisan U.S.-based organization that fights and exposes anti-Semitism. Tlaib beat out supermodel Gigi Hadid and the political leader of Hamas himself, Ismail Haniyeh, which shows just how severely Americans view Tlaib's anti-Semitic rhetoric.
Anyone who has even a basic understanding, the most basic understanding of statistics and probability, understands it was just a matter of time before Rashida Tlaib eventually said something intelligent. I mean, even by accident, she was bound to say something smart eventually. And I got to hand it to her, man. She did it in absolute style. She put out a social media ad or share, whatever it is, begging her constituents to vote in the Democratic primary, but also begging them to vote against the guy that she now likes to call Genocide Joe.
It's Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. I'm here at the Ford Civic Center in the city of Dearborn. I wanted to remind everyone, please know that you can early vote today until February 17th. They are open here, specifically here from 9 to 5. Check with your local clerks. There are early voting all throughout the 12th Congressional District. It is important, as you all know, to not only march against the genocide, not only make sure that we're calling our members of Congress and local electeds and passing city resolutions all throughout our country. It is also important to create a voting bloc, something that is a bullhorn to say enough is enough. We don't want a country that supports wars and bombs and destruction. We want to support life. We want to stand up for every single life killed in Gaza. I want you to think of Al-Shama. I want you to think of Rima. I want you to think of Sidra. I want you to think of all of the amazing young children and the people, again, lives were lost in Gaza. This is the way you can raise our voices. Don't make us even more invisible. Right now, we feel completely neglected and just unseen by our government. If you want us to be louder, then come here and vote uncommitted.
Yeah, that's pretty remarkable stuff, man. Now, obviously, this is just for show, right? She's trying to send some kind of message. I think she wants to send the message that Joe Biden should not think that he can just do whatever he wants without the input of the radicals in Congress. And really, if she thinks that Joe Biden can't do whatever he wants, I think she probably needs to read or reread the Her report, because not only can Joey do whatever he wants, but the federal government, they're going to let him do whatever he wants because they don't charge sweet, old, well-meaning guys with poor memories. If they're a registered Democrat, of course. You got to be a Democrat for that to work. But anyway, whatever result the Congresswoman is after, I think she forgot that by and large, Democrats are not that bright. And the ones in her district, they're no exception. They're probably exceptionally stupid. And I think that she's probably proof of that. You know, remember, she is one of only 2 people who voted against barring Hamas terror participants from becoming green card holders in America. Just think about that. She's given more support to the folks who carried out the October 7th attacks than she has to Joe Biden. Just let that sink in, man. And another thing I think we need to let sink in, the mainstream liberal media, they didn't even notice when she supported terrorists. They didn't have a word to say about it. They did not care, didn't even move them, didn't bother them. But now that she's on the other side of Joe Biden, now they want to take exception with something she's got to say.
So in a new video, it was posted to X, Democratic Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib is telling her constituents to vote uncommitted instead of voting for President Biden in the Michigan primary, Dawn. Any concerns that Michigan voters who followed Tlaib's advice think it applies to the general election too?
No, well, yes, because you're talking to a voter who's not extraordinarily informed, and there might be some confusion there. But let's talk about how the realities of politics works in Washington, D.C. I got a lot of friends and family in Detroit. I care a lot about that proud Black community. What up, though, to all the folks in Detroit? When Jalen Rose Leadership Academy and Wayne State and Cass Tech don't get the proper appropriations from the Democratic administration, the Democratic president, remember it's because your Democratic Congresswoman told them to not vote for the Democratic president in the primary. And she won't have the excuse that, well, I was saying primary, not general. You don't slap the president in the face and then expect to be treated as a member of the caucus in good standing. And so Rashida Tlaib is not there to represent the squad. She's not there to represent Palestine. While there's merit in all those things, you're there to represent your hometown constituency in the city of Detroit. And I will tell all my friends and family in Detroit that your Congresswoman has failed you and frankly embarrassed you, and there could potentially be ramifications.
So, David, given Don saying that, little concern this could spill over, this advice and this suggestion from Rashida Tlaib could spill over to the general election, how much could the opposition in general from within his own party hurt President Biden in the campaign?
To defeat Joe Biden. I'm a Sunday optimist. I don't like to be a sourpuss, but if you want to see Donald Trump beat Joe Biden, then you have voices of Charlemagne and Rashida Tlaib questioning Joe Biden's leadership, suggesting he's not fit for re-election. That's how you do it. Democrats beating themselves. I mean, right now, Democrats have been given a historic opportunity with an alliance of independents and disaffected Republicans that showed up with the Democratic coalition in 18 and 20 and 22. And you're telling me going into 2024 that a sitting Democratic congresswoman and a leading voice on the left are going to say, we don't know about our guy. Maybe we shouldn't support him. That's a bunch of hot garbage, Alex. And if those voices don't fall in line, don't expect the coalition to be there in November that you need to defeat Donald Trump.
Yeah. So whoever Don Calloway is on MSNBC, he thinks that the way politics work in the U.S. is Joe Biden withholds money and aid to black people and only black people because of something some radically insane terror-supporting congressperson says or does. And somehow, if that happens, that's her fault and not a serious character defect or serious failing of Joe Biden himself. They say that she needs to get on board with Joe and represent her constituents. And apparently, voting for terrorists, that's okay. That's for her constituents. But voting against Joe Biden is not. This is the state of the modern Democrat Party in a nutshell. And these people, man, I'd like to say they can't be serious, but I have a feeling that they very much are. That's just my take, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't already, be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.